In 1959, Fridolin and I met on the beach in Tisvilde. We were young. I had just finished the gymnasium, and I was 19 years old, and Fridolin at that time was 23 years old, and he had just returned from Sardinia, and I had heard a lot about this strange young man who went there to Sardinia on a Nimbus on the old motorbike and collected all these things. And I knew his brother because he was playing in the jazz club where I went regularly. And so they were a bit interesting persons, a bit known. And also I liked jazz music very much. Anyway, we met and started to stay together, and I started to study in the university, and Fridolin at that time was working on the material more or less every day. He did these transcriptions, and I remember very clearly we stayed together in his mother's house. Our parents were quite liberal, so we were allowed to stay together from the very beginning. Even my grandmother accepted him because he was, my family could see immediately he was a very good person. And so I remember very clearly when he was sitting doing these transcriptions, and often on half speed with the tape recorder. And this sound I can very easily recall. In '62, we went to, for our first time, we meant to go to Sardinia together, because Fridolin wanted to, he wanted primarily and mostly to go to Villa Puzzo in order to work with Antonio Lara. And I don't remember clearly, somehow there was a Danish photographer, Kjeld Helmer Petersen, and his wife Birte. We knew them somehow. I don't really remember how it came, but from various friends we came to know each other. And I think from the beginning the intention was that they should come also to Sardinia. They meant to go to Corsica, but it was not quite sure, and in fact they never came to Sardinia, but we got the camera from them. This old camera which we used for the film on the Launettas. Then each day we went to the house of Antonio Lara and Tia Chiara, his wife, and they were very kind people. We felt like being their children, more or less. They really took care of us, and I got a very intimate, or quite intimate, relationship also with Tia Chiara, and stayed with her. And also they suffered from the heat in this summer. During this summer there was a lot of this wind coming from Africa, and we were just sitting there on the veranda and more or less trying to breathe and survive, and then drinking water and coffee mixed. And yeah, we often had our meals there, and then of course we made a lot of recordings, both with the tape recorder, and Fridolin was staying together with Antonio Lara, getting a lot of informations. And yeah, I think this. Then we went to Cagliari and visiting a new friend Fridolin had got a visitor who helped with the text. Later we went to a village more in the north, Jerzu, where there was a religious feast in the village, and this Launettas player from Villa Puzzo was going to play there, so we followed him this Aurelio Porco went there, and he played during the procession, and the whole village was very crowded. And we came in the late afternoon, and we couldn't find anywhere to stay. There were no rooms vacant for us. And finally we found a very rude, without any furniture, and we slept on the floor on top of a house of a lady who was a bit strange lady. And when we woke the next morning, we had been bitten a lot by fleas, and we had to go to the barber's shop to get a bath, because this was the way to get clean at that time in there. Don't really remember. This film was developed. There were some problems in developing the film. I think it became, there was too little, maybe, but I may be wrong, but I think it had to undergo a special treatment, this raw material of the film, because maybe there had been too little light, or too little came out, or some mistake, and also we used this old, we got the film for free because we were poor, and I think they were run out of date actually, and so this may also be an explanation why it was a bit difficult, but they managed to make something come out after some. It underwent some special treatment, as far as I remember. I cannot say for sure. Honestly, I don't remember his intentions with this film. I'm nearly guessing, but I have a vague idea that he had some hopes, and that these difficulties we had with the raw material somehow blocked the immediate use of it, and that he may have hoped to make something immediately that was possible to use. And then the whole process was delayed by these technical difficulties. But he was very gifted and he had an extraordinary mixture of really scientific seriosity. He was really grounded in and had studied so many different theories, and he was really what is the word? He was absorbed in this series. So I don't know how to explain, but it was so important for him to be serious and also to go into the more philosophical levels of society with the meta-theories of how to organize. And at the same time he was gifted with a great intuition. Maybe he had some difficulties to accept or to really use this side of himself fully. I think that there might have been some conflict, because in these days this intuitive way, and which is more connected to the emotional than to the mental, to the rational side, it wasn't really acknowledged in these days. It has come much more forward after Fridolin passed away. There has been a kind of small revolution in the orientation of people. Also, there are many who turn towards Orient now to learn about the more intuitive ways of living and more spiritual sides. And at that time it was just in the wake. And Fridolin was very curious, and he was very open but also I think a bit suspicious, and there are good reasons to be suspicious because it can easily run off the track.